Good Erev Shabbos, everyone, and welcome to the Young Israel of Oceanside's virtual drasha on Erev Shabbos. And I'd like to begin this drasha by wishing a mazel tov to Moshe and Tova Lehrer on the birth of a beautiful baby boy. Im Yetzer Hashem, the bris will take place be'izmana, be'ita, in the right time on Sunday, and we look forward to this baby being a source of nachas to the entire Lehrer family. Mazel tov, mazel tov. The year was 1860, and Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch was fighting the Reform movement in a battle for the soul of the Jewish people. In an article in the Yeshuan Journal, he attacked the attitude of the Reform movement that to be a good Jew, one need do no more than merely attend synagogue services. And he wrote the following: perhaps the most radical cure in a time of confusion and the loss of all values would be the provisional closing of all synagogues. Let such an idea not frighten the reader. The closing of all synagogues would not affect or alter the precepts of the divine law one iota. The closing of all synagogues through Jewish hands would constitute the loudest protest against the denial of the divine law in life and home. It would give the most drastic emphasis to the truth that divine Judaism embraces and dominates the totality of Jewish life and does not find its fulfillment only within the halls of prayer and worship. Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch in this article critiqued a type of Judaism that was completely and totally defined and totally identified with the synagogue. For Rav Hirsch, Torah was a way of life everywhere and anywhere. And Rav Hirsch wrote the following: if the Jewish law, like the other religions which are confined to the temple or the church, were to be practiced only in a synagogue, as is prescribed by the deceiving disciples of modern apostasy, Judaism would have disappeared long ago. The Jews in the diaspora were preserved as an isolated entity, not because the practice of their religion demands a synagogue, but because their law demands purity in a marriage and at the table. And Rav Hirsch continues, the Torah encompasses all of life and elevates it into one continuous divine service. The Torah transforms the Jew into a priest, his home into a temple, his table into an altar, his life into an offering. This Torah is his spiritual passport, which unfailingly accompanies him through his journey through life. Of course, Rav Hirsch never imagined closing down the shuls, and he recognized the importance of synagogue and public prayer in our religious life. But the uniqueness of our Torah lifestyle is that throughout history, in times of crisis, we have learned to adapt it to any place and any time. We are devastated by our current situation. We are devastated that I am standing here in Shul today to videotape a drasha for you instead of standing in front of you on Shabbos morning. We are devastated that we cannot spend Shabbos meals with each other. We are devastated that we cannot pray together and study together face to face. And we are devastated that a number of us are at home, all alone, with absolutely nobody to talk to in person. We are devastated, but we move forward. We respond, and we respond with the words of Rav Hirsch, echoing loud and clear that each one of us can still be a priest, a Kohen, and that each of our homes can be transformed into sanctuaries, into temples, even today. In his Sefer Kedushas Levi, Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev comments on the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, Yehi beischa beis va'ad lachachavim. May your house be a meeting place for the wise. That our homes are on a much higher spiritual level than our synagogues. And Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev writes that the main function of a shul is for Kriyat Shema and Tefillah. And Tefillah is only a rabbinic obligation, and there's a debate in the Gemara as to whether Kriyat Shema is a biblical or a rabbinic obligation. But says Rabbi Yitzchak, our Jewish homes have many, many biblical mitzvahs associated with them. The mitzvah of mezuzah, the mitzvah of birkas hamazon, the mitzvah of Torah, the mitzvah of tzedakah, just to name a few. Our homes are on a higher spiritual level than our shuls, but only if we use our homes for all of these and many more mitzvahs. And we can do this, and we must do this, and we will do this. You know, in this week's Parshios of Vayakhel and Pekudei, we read about the obligation to build the Mishkan. And in Parshat Vayakhel, this mitzvah is juxtaposed with the prohibition to work on Shabbos. In my Parsha class that I delivered yesterday evening, I asserted that the connection between these two mitzvahs is more than simply the work that was done in the Mishkan cannot be done on Shabbos. When we build a Mishkan, we build a house for God. We build a house of Kedusha. We build a house of holiness. We must enter into this house to achieve that holiness. But on Shabbos, there is no work on the Mishkan. On Shabbos, we don't worry about the Mishkan. 6 days, we build a house of holiness. But on Shabbos, the whole world is like a Mishkan. The whole world is a world of holiness for each and every one of us. We have no shul now to go to, but we have our homes and we have our Shabbos. We have everything that we need to continue to grow, and we have everything that we need to continue to connect, and we have everything that we need to continue to thrive as committed, passionate Jews. So let's all make this Shabbos really, really special for each and every one of us and for our families, with inspired tefillah, with inspired Torah study, with inspired family times. And for those of us who are unfortunately alone, let this be an opportunity to inspire ourselves and connect with the Borei Olam, the Master of the world. We are being challenged in so many ways by the coronavirus. There's no question about it. But this coming Shabbos, let us transform this Shabbos into an unbelievable opportunity. Yael and I wish everyone a most beautiful Shabbos. Have a wonderful Shabbos.